Again, I welcome everybody on this beautiful Sunday morning, and thank you, one and all, for tuning into this ISOLA Maharashtra Chapter's event. This particular event is part of a series where we want to understand and learn about the various regional landscapes of Maharashtra. And today we are traveling to the city of Aurangabad and its beautiful settings and the uh, huge history it has associated with it. Before starting the event, I would like to introduce our organization, which is ISOLA. ISOLA stands for Indian Society of Landscape Architects, and we are Maharashtra chapter of ISOLA. It has 9 such chapters. It was founded by Bhagavat sir. We are together for various events and organizations. We host many events throughout the year. Ajay, we have a yearly program of a program schedule for the year, and these happen to be few of them. It's been almost 2 years of formation of ISOLA Maharashtra Chapter, and we have held very successful events throughout this time. And currently we have various online events which we are hosting. This happens to be the ongoing series. So again, thank you from the whole team of ISOLA for being part of the session. I would also like to thank our donor of the day, Mr. Manoj Shah from Stone Studio. It's a one-stop shop for all your natural stone requirements and artifacts. Do visit his showroom near Swagat. And there is a lot that we are going to listen to now in the next 1.5 hours. And I myself am more than eager that it starts immediately. I would like to hand over the mic now to Yogendra to brief us about what we are going to go through this beautiful morning. And of course, introduce our eminent speaker, Ajay Kulkarni sir. Yogendra is our not only a ISOLA member, but a very prominent architect from Aurangabad, landscape architect from Aurangabad, and a beautiful speaker himself. I have enjoyed many of his presentations. So he and Ajay sir will take us through this whole beautiful journey today. Over to you, Yogendra.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you. It was
sorry, Yogendra. I missed introducing Yogendra. I'm really sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shruti. Good morning, all. It's a nice, pleasurable Sunday morning, and welcome to Aurangabad. Firstly, when we decided that we would have Aurangabad as a topic for regional landscapes presentation, the obvious name which came to my mind was Ajay sir. Ajay sir being a very senior architect and a very big authority in doing research on Aurangabad, doing research on all the archaeology, the history, and all these things are self-motivated, and they are like what you can say, it's a passion for him. Landscapes and cultures have always been the most overlapped and thought and respected, consciously or subconsciously, across all human civilizations. The overlay of cultures and its resultant developments have always been a strong key factor for responses to the surroundings and the environment. All civilizations and their cultural developments are as a resultant of ages of thoughtful and progressive decisions made by individuals, groups, societies in their corresponding era. Today, we all inherit those thoughts, the logic, and the history. It belongs to us. It is uh, very personal to us, the area we live into, the region we belong to, the one who are sensitive to the thought of preserving it and taking it ahead to its full glory holistically. Aurangabad lies in the central plateau of India, as you all know, also called as a Deccan Plateau, and has been exposed to a lot of cultural influences and developments across centuries. So many developments, so many cultures, so many civilizations, or so many what you can say sects have had a lot of influences on Aurangabad. The history which you all are going to experience now is the most intriguing and will force you to introspect what lies within us and what response we have to it. The present the presentation attempts to correlate the rich cultures, the history, the landscape settings as environment or surroundings, or just a space beyond the built to be experienced and respected. Uh, that's the view of Begumpura from Aurangzeb's palace. These are some pictures. Why I'm showing you this is to get an idea of the terrain. You can just get a glimpse of what this region is about. Uh, Very prominently notice that all the hills and all the mountains are barren. They are not covered by any plantations or forests. So that way the climate is a dry and arid climate. But yet the development is immense. We have the Bibi Ka Maqbara, which is the second part of Taj Mahal. More about Aurangabad, I think Ajay sir will be the best authority to describe and discuss about it. Aurangabad is best understood from a person who has spent so many years in understanding the rationale of cultures those existed here, who created all heritage and history. Uh, Architect Ajay Kulkarni sir, we welcome you. He's an architect, designer. He's convener of INTAC, Aurangabad chapter. He has got his own firm named Interface Designers. He did his B.Arch from Vishweshwaraya Regional College, Nagpur, and MDes Masters in Visual Communication from IIT Powai. Ajay sir has been a great support to Aurangabad. He's a immensely thoughtful architect. He has been nominated for Aga Khan Award of Architecture on the 13th cycle, and he has 6th cycle of World Architecture Community Award for his project Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar University at Loneri, Raigad. He did a health center here, Vasat Lauji Sarvits in Aurangabad only, and he was again nominated for 10th cycle of Aga Khan. Golden Jubilee School, it's in Jalna, 7th cycle of World Architecture Community Award. A few of the campuses which he has done in and around Aurangabad, Arya Chanakya Vidyadham Nath Valley School, and few more. Ajay sir is very well known for his lectures, writings, and presentations. He has been doing that nationally and internationally, and his presentations are mesmerizing. You keep on thinking what he spoke for 2 3 days, and it's a really a very exciting feeling to listen to him. and very, very blissfully we are blessed with such an architect in Aurangabad. So I welcome you, sir, on this platform.
So thanks, ISOLA, for this opportunity to interact on one of my, I don't know, I mean, uh, maybe calling it a passionate subject or maybe a subject close to my heart. It's just much beyond all this because while we were just discussing before the beginning how much time I can speak, whether it's 45 minutes, whether it is 90 minutes, or it is 180 minutes, I'm not very sure how to squeeze this 20 plus maybe 6, 7, 7, 8, 28 centuries. So thanks, Yogendra, for giving that brief and inviting me. While Yogendra was showing those images, it's very, see, this Aurangabad is a place. See, I want to talk to you on certain lines because you all are dealing with the animate part of the built environment. What grows, what is living, what breathes, what changes the morphology. I may dare to say the anatomy of the bricks and mortars is probably the environment around a built environment, and you people deal with that environment. So you guys actually, when I'm saying you guys, we guys rather, but whenever inadvertently I would refer to you guys or maybe the word landscape in that sense, I don't really intend to creep on to intervene or claim anything on landscape design because I am not very sure which position I should take while talking to you. While Yogendra was showing those images, and like I told you, I have a certain thought, pre-structured, intended. See, that got totally washed out when you showed those three images. You might say, why sir, why, what happened? Have you not seen those images before? I've been seeing those images since last 40, 45 years. And every time you look at these images, now he showed Zemunisa, he showed the Nawabai's palace, he showed, a snap from Aurangabad caves. Oh my God, I mean, these are very intriguing. They shake you from the bottom. Just the mere image. Imagine what would happen if you go and experience that architectural space, maybe. To set you to vibrations. And from where do these vibrations come? Is my main point to discuss with you. Why are there any vibrations, or is it a sort of a taboo, or is it a sort of a preconditioning of people in the design fraternity to address design, address architecture, address industrial design, address automobile design, address product design in a very particularly chosen vocabulary? Why does this happen? I just remember I was staying with the family in France, and I was their guest. And in that family, the wife was a counselor in a cancer hospital. The husband was a plumbing engineer. The daughter was doing a physiotherapy second year. Her son was not really doing anything, but he says he does puppets every day evening. and he's a wonderful guitarist. And we were just having, in the evening, sunsets used to set little late in Paris during those time. So we were having dinner. So very brightly lit, but we were having dinner. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. So I was just, he said, what are you doing, by the way? Why are you here in France? I told them I want to see this and I want to. Of course, I was very honestly, I must submit and honestly confess, I was totally taken away by Pablo Picasso, Manet, Monet, and obviously Corbusier, for that matter. Oh, Corbusier, he said, that lady said, I thought this lady, she's a housewife, she's an expert in the medicine, and why did she say this kind of an exclamation? Oh, come on, Corbusier, he said. I said, maybe she doesn't know. Then I started telling her, oh, Corbusier, what is his connection with France and all that. He said, you just finished that fish, I'll just come. So she came after maybe 15, 20 minutes with a bunch full of files. And she took her son also, and he also got some more box files, and the dinner table was immediately converted into an office table with piles of box files. I said, what is she trying to show me? Maybe I thought, I have no hang of what is this all about. And then she started showing me a wonderful detailed sketches, write-ups, interpretations, original drawings, so on and so endless treasure on Corbusier. I was amazed. How does this happen? That's the connectivity which I want to share. Similar phenomenon take place in Aurangabad too. And that's the reason I told you this small incidents. And there's no wonder, absolutely no wonder. Eiffel Tower is of course a new structure, but Notre Dame is in Paris. Corbusier belongs to Paris, Picasso belongs to Paris. The Sacred Art belongs to Paris, and so on and so forth. Paris is Paris, so we all know. Why Paris is Paris? Because of this collection of a lady who's a counselor, but passion for Corbusier's paintings, his writings, his poems, his works, his architectural works, his criticisms, so on and so on. And that evening went on till almost midnight. And she said, now let's stop here because I have to catch the hospital in the morning. Otherwise, maybe it would have gone far, far beyond. That's the similarity with Aurangabad and Paris. You might say, what's the connection between Aurangabad? So it's very shocking. It's very intriguing. It's very, oh wow. What Paris has to do with Aurangabad? Aurangabad has nothing to do with Paris, literally. But that's the kind of a fabric. Whenever I talk of Aurangabad, I talk of Paitan very often because Paitan is known for Paitani saris, it's known for those wonderful weavings using different threads of gold and silver and a thread which used to come from Tagar. What is Tagar? Tagar is a place about 150 kilometers from Aurangabad, southwards of Aurangabad, which is now in the Osmanabad region. So why are you telling me this about Tagar? Because the Dakshina Patha doesn't end in Aurangabad, but it travels down there. But it claims to have ended in Pratishthan, which we all know as Paitan for that matter. So that's a small brief. So see this, Yogendra, if you wouldn't have shown me this, that those three images, probably I wouldn't have gone into this, but wonderful. I'm very thankful to you that I'm very thankful to you that you tapped my uh, inner sense while I talk about Aurangabad, okay? So now I'll come to my. So I wish, I'm sure you all are sensitive people. You are taking care of this big events and this sudden hiatus of maybe 6 months have already elapsed and 2 more months will probably awaited as it's predicted, but we all have encountered this battle. And now we are all on the streets, we are working, we are all back to our so-called work with the so-called, notional care. I don't know, medical care we take or not. What this is. So I wish all of you a good health. And I wish everyone is in good health, good spirits. Your metabolism is regulated properly. Your lungs pumping enough oxygen. Your immune system is very strong. And you are relieved of stress. May I repeat, because that's an important wish to the God. And also, I'll repeat to regulate your metabolism, pump a lot of oxygen, immune your system to the best possible so that you can resist things and relief from the stress. What are these? When I'm talking about the well-wishing you from this COVID and its hazards, probable hazards, and we have to battle this with these equipments. But this is not, I'm not talking about COVID, by the way. This is an image from the sketchbooks of course, Leonardo da Vinci. And this is his chemical factory on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side is the kidneys. And on top of kidneys, as you all know, there is icing of adrenal glands. And adrenal glands medically do these jobs: regulate metabolism, pump oxygen, immunize your system, and relieve stress. The prime functions of adrenal glands. And as I see, landscape consultants, landscape architecture, to say so, as a discipline, as an offshoot, as a tributary of a major river like Godavari has so many, Manjara river for that matter. Krishna finally goes and meets Bhima somewhere, and they appear from the junction as a tributaries to each other. So as a tributary of the main branch of architecture is landscape, other prime tributaries of like Satluj or Ravi or so on and so forth in the Indus Valley civilization. So this is a tributary of the architectural discipline. I associate landscape design and designers' contribution as the adrenal glands do in our human body and our human anatomy. Buildings are anatomical, buildings are living beings. They have emotions, they express. They express innocently like the child does. It has got mind, it has got morphology, it's got anatomy. It's got cell structure, it's got everything like the human body has. And you ask Vinci to paint a portrait or a Last Supper, and he goes to the graveyard and digs a dead body. Oh my God, what is he doing, by the way? I just want a simple painting, and why this guy is going to the graveyard? That's the connection. That's the power. That's the passion. And that's the commitment to the profession. And that's what we all must learn from history. We all must learn from polymaths like Vinci. By the way, you're talking about Paris, you're talking about polymaths of Renaissance. Are these people anyway connected to Aurangabad? Yeah, they are. They are connected to Aurangabad. There are polymaths in the soil of Aurangabad. Two, these polymaths are Hemadri Pandit of Chalukya, Sant Dhaneshwar, 13th century Pratishthan, which I just referred to, the end point of the Dakshinapada Pratishthan, Sravasti to Pratishthan, was this amazing corridor which got trade, which got philosophy, which got literature, which got architecture, which got military, which got performing art, which got philosophy, which got Sufism, which got the religious belief, so on and so forth. And a similar kind of a Dakshinapatha, the length of Dakshinapatha was 1400 kilometers. Sravasti to Pratishthan, Paitan. What is Pratishthan? Pratishthan was the capital of Satvana kingdom. Oh my God. The moment I talk Satvana, I get goosebumps. These are amazing community. So we are primarily going to talk about Satvanas. Sravasti is a place, epicenter of Buddhism, where Lord Buddha spent about 20 years of his life. Can you imagine? Such a divine person moving in flesh and blood and mind and consciousness in a place. He's connected, no matter 1400 kilometers is not a big distance, a very small distance, by the way. So what does 1400 kilometers have to do? 1400 sounds something similar. What is 1400? 1400 is the length of DMIC, Delhi-Mumbai corridor, Aurangabad to Delhi. That's running parallel, maybe on the western side. But is this a reincarnation of South Dakshinapatha? What is Dakshin? Dakshin, is it Deccan? Deccan, yeah, it is. Deccan is Dakshin. Is it Dakkan? Yeah, the same thing. Dakkan, Dakshin, Deccan, they're all part of the same word. They're all same words, actually. So this Dakshinapatha now is reincarnated in the form of a DMIC. So we now, with this community, sensitive community, the reason I'm sharing this with you, all of you, this sensitive community, the adrenal glands of the built environment must fuse metabolism, must pump in a lot of oxygen, must strengthen the immune system of this would to be Dakshinapatha, called as DMIC. Don't ignore it. Bring it to your life. Bring it to your life. Stretch it. Intervene. Conquer. Encounter. Don't say, no, they don't allow us. They don't call me. They have not chosen my tender. Forget all that nonsense. It's not there. Go there. Be part of the thread. And revive trade, revive architecture, revive philosophy, revive art, revive literature, so on and so forth. That's the reason we learn history. History is not in isolation. There is a purpose to learn history. History is not a Govind Nihalani's film, by the way. Wow, it's a wonderful film. It's not like those Manmohan Desai's films, but this is really close to the life. But after you come out of a theater, they'll be back to your normal. So this is not a Govind Nihalani's film, nor it is a Woody Allen's film. It is Eisenstein's film. Eisenstein's film and not Govind Nihalani's film? Yes. Eisenstein's film for the simple reason. Eisenstein was directly invited by Corbusier in his buildings to be very honest in Villa Savoy, beginning of his profession, and even Rosha Chapel, end of his patha of his life. He had a very complex patha on his lifespan, full of turmoils, full of learnings from history, full of rejections of history, full of reinventing history, churning it, throwing it, turning it, bring it topsy-turvy, and then finally we see the master in its own way. And similar way, we all know the sun would know its power. Sun wouldn't know its power unless it hits the corner of the building. Wow, what a confidence in architecture. What a celebration, what a pride, what a ego. My God, none other than Vikan. And Vikan had this great deal of connectivity with the history, and that's the reason we are here today. And that's the reason we must learn history. I think, like I told you, my standpoint is, and please pardon me if I'm using the word landscape without your permission inappropriately, but my perception, I'm telling you that. That's the way I look at landscape. Since I'm a person who deals in calligraphy, industrial design, I'm a student of heritage, I'm a sculptor, I'm a painter, I'm a speaker, and I'm an occasional architect. So I am perceiving this tributary, and these are my monologues. So now I think you are in a better position to pardon me. Okay, so that's how the whole thing is all about. There is always Aurangabad will teach you at the end of this presentation whether or not you want to be wild like an untamed cheetah, or the untamed hill behind the Hatshepsut temple, 2500 BC, or this monolithic, unimaginable, mind-boggling, eternal, timeless rock of Vagur River, supporting cave number 9, cave number 19 at Ajanta. When you are witnessing the panorama of Ajanta, all this sculpture in cave number 21, 34, 29, or 2 of Ellora, you really wonder, what am I looking at? Am I looking at this wild, untamed rock, or am I looking at that tamed sculpture called cave at the bottom? And that's the power of Aurangabad. And that's the reason of learning history. The option is always open. Us architectural community, please remember, if there are students like me in this audience, I would urge, please do not close the doors of this untamed wild nature, because landscape consultants deal with a tamed nature. I'm talking of the untamed nature, which is the background, which is the environment, which is the ether of architecture, for that matter. So, predominantly, if there is a wild, there has to be a tamed thing. Now, architects are often told by the clients on a sheet of paper, I have a piece of plot, X by Y dimensions. Oh, that sounds too unromantic. 50 feet by 72 feet. Oh, how dry and how unromantic that expression is. No matter. So one can say architecture once began with such a dry and unromantic expression of expressing in a form of so many feet by so many feet. Oh, that's so unfortunate. But the moment that piece of paper is given to an architect, he looks at the plot and looks at the sky. He says, oh, Where is the Z dimension? This. So he starts searching for the space. So for him it is X by Y by Z, talking in terms of their language. They use this language permanently. Isn't it amazing? It's a wonderful analogy. So the moment you get this parcel of a space, the wild space, like the wild rock, the Vakataka's got, the Rashtrakota's got, Kalachuri's got, and Chalukya's got once upon a time in Aurangabad. Satvana's got once upon a time. So untamed piece of space, parcel of space, vis-a-vis untamed piece of rock. Isn't it beautiful analogy? And then the architect starts searching. He starts sculpting the space, parcel of a space, like Michelangelo saw the angel long before the world saw it. Isn't it similar? So Michelangelo did respect the wild most than the tamed one. And that's the reason we have to learn history. That's the reason we all are here today. So the architect starts, crafting this beautiful physical features in an invisible space and starts dreaming of it. And then he holds hand of his tributary of landscape consultants in that sense. And he makes a pact, he makes a deal. I will plant environment on this parcel of space. Will you help me planting can you plant a built environment on this parcel of space? Do you mind planting the environment here? That's the alliance of these two territories. That's the alliance. That's how I look at the contributions of landscape consultants. That's the adrenal gland, like I told you. That's the only part of the building which grows, keeps on growing, gives breath, gives immune system, oxygen, and gives so on and so forth. So there is animate and there is inanimate. There is Jada and there is Chaitanya. Most of us are from Pune and Aurangabad region. So Jada is inanimate, Chaitanya is animate. For those who don't know Marathi, what is Jada and Chaitanya? That is the 13th century Sant Jnaneshwar. Chalakalapatarunche arava chetana chintamani. What is this? How can you see a piece of carbon walking around in a city? And the Kalpataru is almost animate, and they are doing the role like I just described you. I take students, especially school kids. I love talking to school kids. Primary, secondary school kids. They are wild. Design students and architecture students are tamed. I don't enjoy it. I'm sorry, I'm also an architect, trained architect. I mean what I'm saying. And you can understand very well what I'm trying to say. So the school kids are wild. I take them to cave number 16 and I tell them, look at this cave number 16. This is built by Rashtrakuta King II, Krishna II. His wife Mankavati wanted to offer to the god that she wanted to offer Lord Shiva a temple so that Lord Krishna, the husband Krishna, who was the ruler of Rashtrakuta kingdom, would come out of his disease and is offering to the god of Lord Shiva in the form of a temple. So this is a metaphor of a ratha, which is a living cart. Then the school kids would ask immediately, is this a ratha? When was this built? I tell them it's built in the 7th century, end of 7th century. Oh, 7th century, that's about 1300 years back. So does it move? Very innocently they ask me. No architecture student would ask this. No design student would ask this. But in Kathopanishad, architecture is actually compared with the Ratha. Human body is compared with the Ratha. Human life is compared with the Ratha. And that's precisely what Corbusier did. When he compared Citroën with LaRouche, he compared Aquatania with Villa-Savoy, and so on and so forth. So there is this learning from the history in the recent past. I don't want to name, but I met an architect who's quite senior. I said, come on, I'm talking about Corbusier and Louis Kahn. It's an old story. I said, that's the latest story. I'm talking about 22 centuries. They're just completing 1 century, my dear friend. They're very young. So they have learned from the history. And they have drawn analogies and inspirations from the Rathas. The Rathas of their time were obviously Citroën car. They can't help it. They're honest. Very honest to bring Dakshin Patha to DMIC in that sense. So let's look at it like that. So architecture is a reinterpreted earth. Landscape consultants deal with earth and plants and vegetation and so on and so on. Talking in terms of very obvious and please pardon me, keep on pardoning me throughout this lecture if I'm making a wrong definition. But like I told you, my portion is my perception. Architecture is nothing but earth and plants. Again, animate and inanimate. I'm sorry. Earth, when it is in the plant, it is living. When it comes to the form of a bed, it becomes the top of my building. It's a baked earth, it's a terracotta. And the plant, when it's living, it's a tree, teakwood or rosewood. When it comes to my building, they become like this. So they are all part of the same coin. So architecture is reinterpreted earth and plants. Isn't it wonderful? This is Kathopanishad. This is wonderful. And that's the connection. That's a very conscious decision, like I told you, to demonstrate Villa Savoy at the bottom, and obviously the Rathas of Mahabalipuram at the top. They will always be at the top. That's the inspiration, that's the beginning. That's the reinterpreted wild rock, which we call as the Arjuna Ratha. Okay, so that's beautiful. And the picture on the right hand side is nothing but, it's on the backdrop is Ajanta. But I think this is the inspiration for Ajanta paintings. They did take the sap and the extract of this beautiful green and this beautiful red, which you saw in the poster of this talk, in that elephant, which appears on the ceiling of Ajanta caves. Why did they paint? Why did they sculpt? That's a very intriguing question. We'll come to that. Now, the image on the right hand side is 2nd century BC to 3rd century AD, 500 years. This is the Vajrapani, which we all know, who was a bodhisattva. Flanking the image of the sculpture of Lord Buddha. These are bodhisattvas. The one on the left hand side top, if you call bodhisattva as Dakshinapatha of 2nd century BC and before, then what is the left corner top image? They are the Rabaris of Ahmedabad. You can go and find them on the Ahmednagar road, the Gandhinagar road. They are the Rabaris. Hand to mouth. They have to struggle, they have to work the entire day to survive and remain in the evening. They wander. They have to make their cows graze, make some money, and finally survive at the end of the day. Hand to mouth existence. Look at the interest in life. That's the borrowing of the culture. And that's the reason we are here today. The right hand side is going Nailan's film. Left hand side is bringing that film to life. Right hand side is Dakshin Patha. Left hand side is TMIC. Bring it back. If unless and until you bring it back, you're not doing justice to your education, formal education, or your sensibilities. Now, talking in terms of polymaths like Vinci or Himadri Pandit of Ahmednagar, Chalukya dynasty, these people are polymaths. And the one at the bottom is a reminder of Kuchipudi dance. That's the role of a culture. So please do not part with your culture. Come on, that's old ritual. Oh, you are too orthodox. Don't follow. See, just don't follow for the sake of following. Culture has to be followed in order to remember that we belong to the right image, right hand side image, in order to exist successfully in this today's world. That's the purpose we are here today. So this is how we celebrated our lives. A mere act of lighting lamp was such a glorified act in our culture. Where has this all gone? Is it like care number 16 or Satvanas or Pandavalena or Baja, Karla, Kaneri, Bedse, Elephanta, Karapuri? I think this is all. It's all. Is it Dakshin Patha? Everything is in this single lamp. Please do not bring this back. How to bring it back? I'm not asking you to hang these lamps in your living room. That's your role. You are trained to do it. Do it. That's the beauty. Wow. That's the railing. Do this. I'm not talking about history. I'm not talking about anything. This is the present. What an amazing person this must have been, Antonio Gaudi. Look at this. Now, let me again. To me, the bottom image, this beautiful people trees, leaves, are the wild rock for me. And the one on the top is a sculpture of cave number 34. Now you can understand what I'm trying to say. This people tree is an amazing tree. No word, no wonder. Ashwattham Sarvavrukshanam. Lord Krishna chooses to be a people tree out of the entire universe. Why does he do this? There is a reason. Ashwattham Sarvavrukshanam. Wow. What an amazing concept. And that's architecture. And that's fusion of both the tributaries. This is a tree which possesses the wild rock and the craftsmanship both. As I look at this tree. How? No wonder in Sravasti, the jungles of Sravasti, this was a tree which enlightened in Bodh Gaya, the great man. No wonder. This is a tree devoid of flowers. It doesn't need the metamorphosis of the leaves of this great tree. You want to see flowers on my tree? The tree laughs at you. He says, okay, come in Chaitra. I will show you flowers. And these are the flowers. And you come in Margashirsha, then it doesn't talk to you. It's a yogi. It detaches everybody. The same tree, which is innocent, baby in the womb, like a cave inside a womb. And when the womb blesses the baby with due care, the permission to release itself from the cave, it becomes Elephanta, or it becomes cave number 29, or it becomes cave number 34, or it becomes cave number 16. Cave number 16 was a rock. It was a womb. And the baby was inside, like Michelangelo saw the angel sitting inside. Rashtrakutas went to Patradakal, Kanchi, Mahabalipuram, got inspired on Shiva temples of the same decade. They got inspired those temples, but believe me, the genius of people of the soil of Aurangabad, which is actually a multiple layers since Satvana 2nd century BC till 7th century. Already 10 centuries are elapsed, and the overlays of these centuries results into this genius. A guy from Python comes and dictates the Krishna the second. He says, I will do this temple. What a confidence. Who was he, by the way? What was his name? His name was Kokasa. He was a carpenter. Please remember my name, my word. He was Kokasa. The planners, landscape consultants, architects, philosophers who are watching this talk would certainly remember a name of a biologist. Name of a biologist? Who was a biologist, by the way? His name was Patrick Geddes. We all know him as a city planner, by the way. Patrick Geddes was a biologist. And he said this: a goldsmith must learn art of painting and put it in the building. A carpenter must learn how to chisel a rock. And before Patrick Geddes could tell this, Aurangabad had already demonstrated that to the world. That's the legacy of Aurangabad. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it wonderful? And that's really shivering. That's the power of the moment you come in this magnetic field with its epicenter at Pratishthan, end of Dakshinapatha, kingdom, the capital of Satvana kingdom, which ruled the entire country once upon a time. Wow, what a biodata is. Yes, it's amazing. See, kingdoms and cultures, they just don't remain unless they are at the core, at wild and aimed, like these beautiful people types. Like a beautiful woven piece of tapestry, which once upon a time in the 2nd century BC had shaken the Roman Empire. The exports of pottery, literature, cloth, embroidery, from Python to Periplus in Rome, 12-day journey. It was a journey of 12 days through sea. They had taken a resolution: no more imports from Python, from Satvana. That was the power of Aurangabad once upon a time. Isn't it amazing? I'm showing you a railing on the streets of Barcelona of an apartment designed by, I'm talking about Lord Krishna, admiring peoplery, admiring the flowers. The leaves become flower, the flower becomes leaves, the leaves become that flux, the tamed, untamed rock sculpture, visible, invisible, environment, built environment. Wow, what an oscillation. What an amazing oscillation. And Yogendra's those 3 slides suddenly oscillated my whole existence and I was disturbed. Now you can realize, why did I say this? That's the power of Aurangabad. By the way, you talked about Aurangabad. You mentioned about Kalachuris, Rashtrakutas, Vakatakas, Satvanas, Mauryas. What are these? They are all Lord Sant Gnaneshwar, Yamada Pantha. Yes, they have contributed to the city of Aurangabad. That's the power of Aurangabad. Now, what would you call this? Here I'll just bring it. Sometimes you have to, oh, what is this? What are you talking about? Where am I? Oh yeah, you are in this 21st century. This is temple on water on the Umeji island by none other than Hando. He also believed on the wild and the brutal existence of the rock. He could not construct rock, though he attempted initially. He did attempt the rock, he did attempt the bricks, and then finally settled on concrete because it was time tested and ratified by none other than Corbusier, the master of brutalism, and Auguste Perret for that matter. So he, leave it to me, the modeler says, please leave it to me. I will take care of everything else. That's what modeler says. Look at the confidence. A scale which is invisible, a mode of measurement becomes a living being and tells Corbusier, leave it to me, I'll take care of your proportions. So he obeyed his master and Hando left it to his master and followed this monumentality and brutalism all throughout his works. And he thought this is closer. But please believe me, when Hando does this, he is doubtful all through. Hando is indeed extremely doubtful about exposed concrete. So he doesn't leave it. He doesn't leave it untamed. He tames it with nature every time. So he feels settled. That's what the history has taught him. That's the reason we must learn history of architecture. And that's the role of the environment vis-a-vis built environment. So you plant environment, I will plant built environment. Isn't it beautiful? They're all interwoven like a tapestry of Satvanas, like a Paithani sari. It's all interwoven, extremely complex. Aurangabad is actually extremely complex. It's an interwoven and very complex embroidery. And the way you start working reverse, then you understand, oh my God, this is going far deeper. Oh, still going inside. Oh, 6th century, okay, 5th to 4th, oh my God. It's going till the period of Ashoka, 6th century BC. Oh, it's going behind. Persia, oh my God, what is this? Malta, yes. Aurangabad has got all these lineages. And that's why Aurangabad has got this. One of the only places I am using with consciousness. This is one of the only places. I would say the only place on the earth to have a living heritage like this. So Ando does this, one of the prominent temples of Water Temple. Water Temple, by the way, is a name. It's a new name, it's not the original name of this temple. One of the most religiously visited temple, but due to soil it was sinking inside. And it had all those typical Japanese elements of architecture, which are must for a temple in Japan. But Ando instructed his clients, if you want to get building designed by me, you are a religious clergy, I am an architectural clergy. You will have to follow my principles. I will follow your principles when I come here as a devotee. But now you are a deity and I am a clergy. Tamed and untamed. What a beautiful oscillation. And the result is this. Where is the temple? Where is the sloping roof? Where is that wood? Where are those red color? He says, keep quiet. Don't ask me questions. Just put a beautiful lotus pond on top of. He said, this is God. This is Lord Buddha. That's the reason we have to learn history. Amazing. Barcelona, what is the purpose that this Barcelona pavilion had to be reconstructed? It was an exhibition panel. But look at a very thin, I'm very sorry, an invisible line. Like the paper tree becomes a flower and a leaf. Similar, this is a paper tree for me. This whole complex. I admire the water body, the trees behind, or the quality of the space, or both. I don't know. It's like a duality. It's like a duality of Lord Shiva. It's a duality of physics, Nada and Bindu, point and a wave. Ardhanarishwar, which exists in cave number 16. This is duality. Environment, built environment. Terracotta earth. Take foot tree, an element of a building. Duality. This is a duality of existence. Soham. Duality. So this is deep-rooted in the Indian ethos and in the culture. Where can you actually pull it out? How will you do it, my dear friends? Indian architecture was not physical, it was metaphysical. Like the faith of Vedic principles, like the faith of Buddhism, it was invisible. It was invisible to the extent. Do you think when the Mauryans acquired the art of sculpting the rock and putting beautiful edifices and philosophical elements in the cave, they couldn't have done a temple in the free air? Do you think it was so difficult for them? They did not do it. They did not want to change the topography of Mother Earth. And that's the contribution of landscape consultant, according to me. Lord Krishna has said, I came here, but I went as if I was not here before. That's the contribution. That's the adrenal glands. From where does it come? Who is making me happy? Who's giving me confidence? Why am I keep feeling so much of oxygen? Why people say I'm evolved? Why people say you have changed? That's the adrenal gland. That's the environment. It's a very wonderful thing. And then, if you look at the map of India, by the way, the current map of India. See, when I'm talking about Satvara's, oh my God, Satvara's map, nobody knows what is the geometry of that map. Satvara, Satvara's existence was eternal, let us say, boundless, no boundaries. I just told you, Pericles in Rome. So let's not talk about that either. It's very scary and very proud also. Let's talk about this. The geographical map taught to all of us and our kids in the schools. It's a triangle by and large, okay? It's the major part is a triangle. And the heart of that triangle is taken. And the heart of that triangle is taken. Triangle within a triangle. And the heart of that triangle within a triangle is Aurangabad. Now you can position yourself. No wonder when we learned the art of making caves, we found, oh my God, wealth and treasure of boundless, unending black basalt, amazing black basalt. It comes from nowhere and goes to nowhere, comes from eternity, goes to eternity. They were amazed. Everybody came here. Satvana, Chalukyas, Vakatakas, Rashtrakutas, Kalachuris, everybody, Nizams, Mughals, early Nizams, later Mughals, everybody, Asaf Shah, Malik Akbar, Bahamanis. But yes, I look, why did they come here? No wonder. No wonder. Deccan Plateau, especially Aurangabad, and this region has 1,200 caves, the maximum concentration of caves anywhere on the face of the earth, and of which 2/3 are in Aurangabad. That's the reason you must come to Aurangabad, and that's the reason we are here. I am aware already 1 hour has elapsed, but I don't know whether I've started with my subject or not. But see, please pardon me. I'll blame Yogendra for oscillating me too much at the beginning. Yogendra, you tapped a very difficult chord. You strike a very difficult chord, which is this resonating, and those resonances are creating synergies. And those synergies, I can only play my tunes. The frequencies are so high, it has started resonating all over. Now I can't stop it. It's very difficult. Let's wait when they mellow down. They have not mellowed down for last 22 centuries, by the way. Let's see. Okay, so this is Sufism. It's in Aurangabad, in Roja, Kultabad. Okay, so this is Patrick Geddes. He's talking about similar principles. Do you think Patrick Geddes, Le Corbusier, Ando, Gaudi, Mies, and Satvanas, and Kokasa, Sant Jnaneshwar, Lord Buddha, Lord Krishna, what are these, all these things? Are we talking about Kathopadishad? And then in the Ratha Yatra, why Lord Krishna has to go every year to his hometown to meet Subhadra? He is everywhere omnipresent. But even Lord Krishna has to go. He has to go back to his roots. So that's the purpose of this talk. Even Lord Krishna can forget his roots. There is a word of caution. We may forget. So please go back to roots. Bring something from that roots to TMIC. That's the purpose. Okay, so So, it's very interesting fabric of Aurangabad. When you're talking about Aurangabad, you have to talk about Marathwada. You have to talk about Vijayanagar. You have to talk about Bahamanis. You have to talk about Gulbarga. You have to talk about Bidar. You have to talk about Karez. You have to talk about Surangabavi. You have to talk about Bahamanis. You have to talk about calligraphy. You have to talk about Persia. There was a Tuktuk Ars, the name of Persian civil engineer, who designed this system of Kanat or Naher or Naher Jari, Surangabavi or Karez, which we all these tributaries running parallel to the topography. The water table, like I told you, treasure of basalt, obviously the water table was not favorable for going deep inside, eternally going rock. So they played safe and they started digging tributaries parallel to the Mother Earth. And that became Nare, which is a very unique feature of Aurangabad. Please come and witness it. This water, by the way, this water, okay, this is from Nare, for your kind information. Wow, beautiful water. Nice. Interesting. So, Bahamanis, when you talk about Aurangabad, you talk about Bahamanis, Vijayanagar, Bidar Fort. This Bidar Fort windows remind me of caves in Balochistan. They used to be far before the birth of Christ, which triggered Louis Kahn as well as Le Corbusier. And no wonder, Villa, this Rocha Chapel has windows like this. Of course, that's very complex. I will come to that because Corbusier is another subject of my passion. I'll come to that little later. But just keep this in mind. Look at this freedom of putting windows. That's what you have to learn. Let's not teach students to put the lintel at 2100 and sill at 900. Take them to Bahamanis fort, the fort wall, the moat around it, and the windows, and teach them how to design windows. And similar wall exists in Daultabad, a Yadav kingdom fort known as Devgiri. Now we all know it as Daultabad, which was the Khilji kingdom capital, which was brought from Delhi to Aurangabad for 4 years. That's the power of Aurangabad. And this fort is inspired by this fort. This fort is a fort in Bidar. Daultabad inspired by Bidar. Bidar inspired by Gulbarga. Gulbarga inspired by Bijapur. Wow, what a lineage. And that's Aurangabad. Now, reverse order. Bijapur, fortified town. Gulbarga, fortified town. Bidar, fortified town. Aurangabad, fortified town. Koltabad, fortified town. Wow. Daultabad, fortified town. Paitan, fortified town. So many fortified towns, so many capitals. Pakistan, Paitan was a capital of Satwanas. Daultabad was capital of Yadavas, Khiljis, Nizams. Aurangzeb ruled from there before it transferred to Aurangabad. And Rosa, as it's very well known as, which is Koltabad, was a capital of Sufism. So many capitals. That's the reason you have to learn Aurangabad. All fortified towns. So do you think such a city needs to be taught how a smart city should be? Which has already proven it. 1610, beginning of the 17th century, when Murtaza Nizam sent Malik Akbar to Aurangabad, Malik Akbar could have gone back by this ST bus back to Ahmednagar, saying that there is no water in a hopeless place. He took basalt as a challenge, like his predecessors since 20th century did, and constructed a beautiful town which was once upon a time known as Khadki. He came here, there was nothing here, only Khadak, basalt. He came and built a palace, started building a palace by the side of a river. Hold the source of water is the source of civilization always. And Nile has taught us this, Indus Valley has taught us this, cave number 29 has taught us this, the Ajanta caves have taught us, everybody has taught us this repeatedly. Source of water, civilizations always exist between Bhima and Krishna, Bijapur, Krishna and Manjara, Gulbarga, Manjara and Godavari, Aurangabad and Bidar. These basins are very, very essentials. Ecology, topography, and the source of water, essential for existence of civilizations which last long. Sorry. So this is Chaubara of Bidar. And this Brahmanis, and when he came here in 1610, a Chinese visitor who came here, he writes, wow, what a city it was. A city with beautiful trees and flowers all around with a great fragrance. Phenomenal water bodies, great sculptures, and I drank water. I tell you, the water was so sweet. These are the expressions of a Chinese visitor when he visited the city of Aurangabad in 1619, which is designed by Malik Akbar. That's the history of Aurangabad. Isn't it wonderful? It is. These are all Iranian influences of Brahmanis in Bidar. This is absolutely stunning. This is Aurangabad. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a place? The right bottom is, I'll just quickly read. Roshanara Mahal, Faisal Palace, Faisal Palace, Soneri Mahal, Bibi Ka Maqbara, Himayat Bagh, Roja Bagh, Katkat Gate, Janara Mahal, Kilayar, Jama Masjid, Dokona Palace, Panchakki, Moti Masjid, Shahi Bagh, Kali Masjid, Shamurmiya Dargah, then Golconda Palace, then Apti Mandi, Taltabad, Rang Mahal, and Bhagavani Begum, Lal Bagh, Parvakan. Oh my God! Enough. What is this? These are all existing Mughal gardens in Aurangabad. Can you imagine a place on the face of earth with 22 living Mughal gardens? Oh my God, where is this? Oh yeah, come to Aurangabad. I'll show you. That's Aurangabad. Amazing place. It's absolutely stunning. Now look at this. Look at this concentration of a triangle within a triangle within a triangle. Pitalkhora, Ajanta, Ellora, and Aurangabad, and oh my God, amazing, amazing case. Krishna, Godavari, Manjara. You see, Tapti, all this, Tapti rivers, of course, Burhanpur. These are these amazing basins and the civilizations, as you see. Now, I have touched on these aspects already. So, I think we have to respect light. Now, this is a window designed by Lord Krishna, or designed by the untamed architect. This is Lomas Rishi. This is how he learned to excavate the womb of Mother Earth. Now, what is this instinct? 2,500 years before this similar experiment happens. This is a natural human response to nature. This is the way this management gurus teach us in seven-star hotels. With a mineral water, divide of minerals of history. This is the problem solving. Whether it is in Barabar, whether it is Abu Simbel, whether it was Rajgir, whether it was Udaygiri in Orissa, or it was cave number 16. Problem solving remains like an eternal truth, like the people tree leaf. That's the reason you should come to Aurangabad. Look at this caves, king's chambers. Amazing. Where is this? Is a womb. There's a whole lot of babies inside this earth. Look at the genius of the environmental planner. He has not touched the topography, but created this universe below. Isn't this amazing? Do you think these people did not know art of making buildings outside the hill? They did know. This is the respect they showed to the, and that's precisely what we must learn in Aurangabad. To respect the topography, to respect the nature, respect the biorhythm, respect the tributaries, respect the environment, respect the microorganisms, microcosm, and the microclimate. That's why we should come to Aurangabad. Wow. Hatshepsut. That's the reason I named this temple at the beginning of my talk. This temple amazes me. My God. The temple is on the top, not the one at the bottom. That's the real temple. They saw this wildness of a rock and they dared to sow the seed of the civilization. They knew the tree would last forever. And this is the tree at the bottom. And that's the role of the environment vis-a-vis split environment on an X by Y by Z parcel of space. That's how we must look at architecture. Isn't it amazing analogy? It is. These are all different examples of different ethos, cultural ideology, the spirit, invisible spirit, physics vis-a-vis metaphysics. That's the reason you must learn Indian temples. Look at this Mahabalipuram. What a section at the end. Oh my God. Can you imagine like this? We must teach students, and I'm a student. We must teach students to reach this level of duality of architecture. The duality of a people tree, duality of Chalakalpatarunchi Harava, duality of the womb and the release of the womb, and duality which is expressed by better guess. That's very important. So this is a very complex analogy of time. I think I am already short behind the time. I need to curtail. So please, without any hesitation, tell me how many more seconds or minutes or hours or weeks or days I have.
So please do go ahead. We are mesmerized. We would love to hear you more.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. I'll let you know if anything else. But right now we are enjoying your talk.
Yeah, because this momentum. If you stop me, I will break my bones.
No, sir. We don't want to do that.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. You can caution me.
Yes,
Maybe
I
10
would.
minutes before it.
Yes, I would, sir.
Please do it without any hesitation. Because you have rules, I know. I have to respect your rules. And the early morning phenomenal, rare Sunday morning, I know that. So I respect all of you, and please pardon me for that, okay? For encouraging. So, because I would be difficult to I'm tamed at the moment. Difficult to tame, by the way. So, Shapta Rasa Sparsha Rupakanda is philosophy of Indian temples. Invisible. Invisible, like the principle of Soham, like the principle of revisit of the Radha, of Puri, Mahabalipuram, and cave number 16. Cave number 16, Radha, goes to its destination once a year. You have to believe. You have to believe in the invisible environment, in the rock, to plant the environment on a plot of X by Y by Z. To look at the terracotta as Mother Earth and the buttress of Padmanabhapuram Palace as a living tree. That is Shapta Rasa Sparsha Upanga. That's Indian architecture. I think that's very amazing. And come here, come to Aurangabad. I'll show you all this. Like I told you, irrespective, Indian, Egyptian, Buddhist, this perception, the world of metaphors and fiction and the flux of Nada and Bindu, Nara and Madi, Shiva and Parvati of cave number 16. It's amazing. A flower and an olive green detached tree. When the people tree becomes olive green, the leaf becomes 10 microns thick. It doesn't recognize you only. It says, who are you, my friend? I have not seen you. We shout at it and we tell, Hey Baba, we met you in Chaitra and Vaishak. Sorry, I don't know you. That's architecture. So I think it's very amazing. So in William Wordsworth's words, wow, these are very inspiring words. Poet has a momentary existence. Poet has a, see, Einstein wasn't Einstein forever, every time. You don't have to use your IQ to eat a vada sambar in Vaishali. You have to be you. So it's a moment in Picasso's life, in Vinci's life, in Hemadri Pant's life. When Hemadri Pant which we all call him, is a creator of Modi script. Sorry, he's also, we all know him as Hemad temples. He was a civil engineer. I'm very sorry, he wasn't a civil engineer. He was a defense expert. Oh my God, polymath. Are you talking about Indian military? Yes, only 90 miles from Aurangabad, from capital of Satvanas. Why does this happen around Satvanas? Why Kokasa is from Satvana? Why Corbusier and Picasso are from Paris? To find these questions and these answers. Oh, poet is a momentary existence. And it's that moment which has a divine capacity. And it captures the grandeur and the truth of the universe, like the Sattvanas got it, like Persia got it, like Tars got it, like Bahamanis got it, like Michelangelo got it, like Vinci got it, like Kokasa got it, like Mahmud Gawa got it. And with this unique expression of that moment, now his IQ spike goes up. That IQ can come anywhere. It can come in Vaishali also. It can come in your deep sleep. Like Asadullah Sahab. Asadullah Sahab, who is this? Is a Brahminic king? No. Asadullah Sahab is Mirza Ghalib. Mirza Ghalib used to get his spike in the dreams. Oh my God. What a strange person. William Wordsworth. Indian William Wordsworth. And the moment, see the divine power. A poet has a momentary existence, and with that moment, he has this divine capacity to capture the grandeur and truth of the universe. See, this is the principle. And during that divine moment, divine spike, Asadullah Sahab used to keep a thread in his pocket in the deep sleep, and he used to tie a knot. He used to tie a knot, and he used to sleep. But he never used to get up. He was in deep sleep only. Subconscious mind. He used to go in the deep subconscious mind. The same subconscious mind which is described in Atharva Shirsha. Mooladhar Sthitosi Nityam. He's there always. Tum Bhumi Rapundaro Ninonama. He's everywhere. You don't have to search him, you don't have to immerse him. You can't immerse him. He will immerse you. So Asadullah Sahab used to tie a knot. 1 knot, 2 knot, 3 knot, 4 knots. Bayane kaya, Galib kuch aur hai. That's what he used to say. When he used to get up in the morning, he used to untie a knot and he used to write down the poem which occurred in his divinity. And with this unique expression, William Wordsworth goes ahead. He very humbly is a common man. He doesn't know who is sitting next to him, eating in Vaishali, in BPA, head of the department geology, SPPU. A genius. Very humbly shares his perceptions very psychically with the less privileged ones. Who are less privileged ones? You and me. Through the language of signs and symbols. So the language of signs and symbols was different for Egyptians, different for Persians, different for Mauryans, different for Ashoka, different for Sattvanas, different for Ando, different for Nis, different for you. You all are divine people. To be an architect is nothing. Being a poet is everything. Corbusier. Oh my God, who are this community? Where are these guys? They're around us. Mooladhar Sthito Nityam. They're there. You have to believe it. You have to believe in a fiction. You have to believe in a fiction without fear that people will make fun of you on Facebook and Instagram. How? It's what a fool is. Have you seen his post? How a stupid guy is. And nobody has liked me in my post. Don't feel nervous at the end of the day. Why? Our post was too stupid, too funny to be liked. Our intellectuals. Your friends are all intellectuals. They will not like such foolish comment. Oh, was it foolish? Was it fictitious? Was it impractical? Revisiting life for a pharaoh after death, is it foolish? Is it fictitious? The whole civilization exists for 5,000 years, which is not a fiction. You go and put your photo next to a massive column designed and inspired by a tiny papyrus tree. Look at the sensibility of a landscape consultant. No trees in the sands, but he's got hold of a papyrus, capital of a papyrus. Blow it disproportionate, makes a capital, remains for 5,000 years. And you put a photograph, oh, you flooded with likes. But if you float a concept, you're disliked. Why are we so miserable? Why are we so downtrodden? Why are we so diseased? Why are we so mentally challenged? Put your adrenal glands to work. The real ones, the physical ones and the metaphysical ones. Employ a landscape consultant. Tell him, I don't want to see my buildings. On completion, very recently I am doing a school in Delhi. We told our clients in Bagpat, the building is in Bagpat. So we were landing Delhi. From a window we saw, wow, what beautiful brick kilns. Oh, I wish my buildings were like this, brick kilns. Oh, it looks beautiful from the top. They're all haphazard, no rule. So I just wonder if my site was there. Just a thought while landing. Bagpat. Client wanted to design a school. I told him we'll design a school. On completion of the school, the parents would call you. Okay, sir, we paid with so much fees, but the Google location you have given, there is a jungle, there is no school, there is no building. Because the whole facade of the school was a thick jungle. Because the street was facing a beautiful water body and the west side winds. Wow. I wanted to catch the wind. The microclimate of the river filtered the sunlight, create a still macrocosm and give it to those beautiful kids inside. No matter, even if the form of the building is not seen. Cave number 19 form was not shown. The king's chamber in Egypt was not shown. The architect was not angry. My building is not seen only. I wish my building was on the main street. My building was on MG Road. So what would have happened if it was on MG Road? Oh, my building should have been on JM Road, come on. Okay, what would have happened? So we followed this principle. Of course, the school is in the process of making all administrative, but this is how we have conceived the building. I will show you a few images of that school. And I will tell you that grandeur happened with me, that divine moment happened with me, and God extended the hand, like the landscape consultant holds hand of a architect and the tributary, almost not knowing who is the tributary. The architect, the environment, or the built environment. That's the flux. Very interesting. Straight line is a duty, curved line is a duty. Wow. Hassan Fatih. What an architect. Who is the architect of this? And that's what I was talking about, fantasy and reality. This is what precisely happened in Egypt civilization, fantasy and reality. Don't scare of fantasy. Put your post shamelessly, fearlessly. You'll get likes. Not in this generation, maybe after 22 centuries, you'll get likes. Don't worry. Wow. Oh, who is the architect? Is this the same architect who designed this? I think both architects same. Oh, really? Let me see. Wow. Wow, beautiful. This is same architects. Yeah. Wow, this is inside the womb. Released. Game number 16. The baby is released. Wow. The dialogue with the divinity. 7th century AD. Dialogue with the divinity. 3rd century BC. Dialogue remains. Architecture is a result of skilled work. I agree. But what skills? Learn from this Vyalas, non-existent beings, fantasy. Amazing. I am a young man of 71 with a poetry, richness of nature. Architecture is a poem, windows of La Tourette, designed with a musician called Xenakis. And look at the result of this beautiful symphony of windows in La Tourette. That's Corbusier. This is Corbusier on left side, and the right hand side is Raja Bhoj, Kansekar, Kumbhakar, Malakar, Swarnakar, Charmakar. 9 minimum disciplines. You have to be polymath, like Himarapant, Malikambar, Mahmud Gawa, or Vinci. You have to be polymath. Our tradition has told this far. See, 1450 was about Vinci, and this is told 500 years before that. We knew all these things, and Himarapant is still before that. Please, are you sleeping? All of you? Please get up from
Not,
the sleep.
No, we are not.
not at all, sir. We are.
Please get up from the sleep and look at this history. What our history wants to tell us. We all are intoxicated with the strange sleep of this social media. It's a small example. See, I'm not against social media, by the way. Nothing to do with it, actually. neither nor for. So primarily what I want to say, we all have to get up and revisit our past. Go deep, go deep, go deep. Go into the deep. Go into conscious to subconscious, from subconscious to deep sleep. Adhara Shirsha has told us this. Lord Krishna tells us in chapter 12 that I am everywhere, like William Wordsworth has told, like Asadullah Sahib has told. And like Pharaoh got this instinct, maybe I don't know, I'll come back. So now anyway I'm staying 2 BHK, but when I come back after my death, I don't need 2 BHK. Huge. Oh my God, I need something like Khufu pyramid. Maybe my 2 BHK is 46 square feet, but I want to come back with a built area of 12 acres. Khufu pyramid. I want to come back with a built area of 22 acres Hudson Road. I would come with a series of flats for the whole family. 57 acres, 200 acres. Oh my God. That's architecture. See, this Yogendra, what have you tapped? This is the skin of Aurangabad. If you hatch it, all this will come out. It's extremely complex, like a complex embroidery of poetry. Very complex. Next time when you buy poetry sari, don't just look at this. This is what, oh my God, respect nature, respect light. Louis Kahn says, sun doesn't know, I know what is the power of sun. What a confidence here. What an architect he was. How can an architect say the sun doesn't know his power? I know his power of architecture. So I have to create a divine architecture on this earth to tell sun, this is your power. When you hit this monolithic corner of my building of Kimball art, then you will know what architecture is. And this assault of the south wall of Rosha Chapel, this is what God should know. This is what we are, architects. We will tell you who you are. That's the power of architecture. So, Eisenstein, I told you, this is a window designed by Lord Krishna, and this is a window designed by Malikambar. Sun never knew how great it was until he hit the corner of a building. Wow, what a thought. The Church of Light, my God, what a respect. Different times, cave number 16, Pantheon, and this hammam in Daultabad. Wow, what is this? How can divinity be so one, eternal, ageless? There is no age. Wow. That's the reason I told you. Andrew was never sure about concrete. He always got hold of environment. He always wanted to hold the hand of nature, environment, the landscape, the surroundings, and the changing nuances of sunlight. And then he was confident, like Rikant Korupsi and all these great people did. And cave number 29 and Gadapuri Caves did. That's wonderful, wonderful. This is Baba, his office. Wow, divine. This is again Ando. This is on the right hand side is 13th century. On the left hand side is, shall I? 2nd century BC. Look at the power of light. Wow, that's the power. Right hand side is Abu symbol. Left hand side is a small temple near Aurangabad. Look at this, wow. This is celebration of architecture. Right hand side is Padmanabhapuram. Left hand side is, shall I? Nalanda. Fantastic. Rajgir. Of course, see, Nalanda, Rajgir, Srivasti, Patliputra, they're all. And like I told you, when a Lord Buddha stays there for more than 2 decades, you can imagine the epicenter of eternity. It would happen like this one. So that's the power of architecture. Wow. See, Ando was very scared. He says, no, I can't take risk. I want to put a church against water, put church against nature. I think that's the safest. This is a symphony of landscape and the built architecture, built environment, and the environment. That's a symphony of terracotta and Mother Earth, symphony of the leaf in Chaitra and the leaf in Margashirsha. Wow, that's wonderful. So this is symphony. This is, yeah.
I'm sorry to do the bad job, but we would have to take few questions also. So
yeah. So you want to hold it later?
I'm really sorry to interrupt you. You were going. It is mesmerizing to hear you, sir.
Yeah. So we will conclude, stop it here.
Last few things, if you want to kind of summarize, wind up, I would ask Yogendra to take some question answers, if you don't mind.
So I'll quickly wind up in maybe few minutes, okay? I'll just quickly run through this.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah. So these are all mystical places. These are all centuries apart. Buildings to our children of earth and sun. No wonder. This is the creator of. This is what is fiction and reality. Okay. So it's all mystical. And this is cave number 29. And these are all polymaths. These are already touched. Okay, so this I will drop actually. This will quite sometimes. So these are the landmarks of Aurangabad, maybe. And this is what was there in Aurangabad. This is what is now. Unfortunate. So it's a city of gates, someone told. So now I will not touch on this. I told you the cities of what all things. So, big list. Okay. This is Maligambar. This is wow. This is that. This is exactly I wanted to show you. The railing of Gaudi and the flower, that living plants. Okay. So these are monuments of Aurangabad, amazing monuments. This is what we did in Lodere. Reinterpreted the hills on the backdrop. The hills are like this. Just reinterpreted the topography of Earth, and we ended up with this beautiful building. This reinterpreted nature. So this is that kilns, big kilns we saw from the top. This is the street facade of the school, and this is how brick kilns are. And then finally, we recreated brick kilns, and this is how brick kilns we saw from the sky. And this is my school. This is my beautiful school. Wow. This is nothing but brick kilns. Maybe after the school is complete, some brick vendor may come to ask for bricks from here. So this is reinterpreted cave number 34. It's quickly. This is the Aga Khan Award nominated school. This is reinterpreted cave number 34. Trying to bring back things. This is my own house. Reinterpreted cave number 16. This is a symphony of light. I don't call my house, but this is Symphony of Light. You visited. You are invited to visit. So just enjoy a few images and we will close. Okay. So take care of this. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I'm sorry I'm running short of time. Please pardon me for this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. This was truly, truly, truly mesmerizing. I have no other word actually to say.
Thank you.
And there was a lot of intangible wisdom, I think, that we have kind of gained through this talk. Yogendra, you want to take over?
Yeah, that's. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Yogendra, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. That was a very nice context you have shown, world picture, how it can relate to Aurangabad, and that's a very new, what we can say, angle to see to Aurangabad as a world context. So just to ask one thing that often comes to my mind is how we see Aurangabad as a developing town, and how we see that the responses are accurate, or how do we ensure that these responses are accurate towards what we are dreaming Aurangabad about?
Yeah, unfortunately, Aurangabad currently in a hurry. It's there all running. So a body of planet environment experts, geologists, historians, artists, philosophers, literature experts, and architects too. It's the need of an hour to make a real core body like Siam used to be during Corbusier's era. Which yet, I won't say they claim to have shed Paris, but they did a great deal of job. If you leave it to its own fate, it would be a disaster.
Okay. And what do you think? Will they shoulder the responsibility to take care of all these rich heritage? And
That's precisely I told you. See, we architects have, I don't know, it's a part of a training of architecture schools, or this community is actually dissolute. They keep themselves. I will go only if I'm invited. It's neither self-esteem, it's not ego, but we are citizens primarily. We have to intervene, like I told you, in this core team of DMIC and smart cities, and make our presence very strong.
so
That's not happening. That's not happening.
There's a question from Sumit Vaikos. He says, "How smart Aurangabad should be in context with the rich heritage according to you?"
It has to be a customized solution to this. Can't be a blanket proposal. The way they are going ahead. Incidentally, I am part of the smart city team as a convener of intact. But I am going to create a lot of hue and cry and bring people like ISOLA, city planners, artists to make a presence felt there that I'm part of.
That's a very novel thought. Another question comes from Vandana Labba. She says, "Sir, please paint in words your dream of this new Aurangabad."
Wow, this is Vandana can paint it better.
I wish, sir, I could. I wish, sir.
Yeah. So your painting and my painting may not be different. Maybe it can have Manet, Monet, or Ravi Verma, or anybody else, or Hussein. But it has to be have a tangible presence of visual matrix, visual library, not a mockery of monuments. I'm not saying that. So highly skilled people, product designers, industrial designers, landscape sculptors, philosophers, artists, architects must come to a common consensus of deriving a visual library of image building for Aurangabad. I know it's a Herculean task, very tough. It would be subject to criticism, but it would be a conscious effort. So something like this is getting cooked up. So I would invite ISOLA and team members to be part of this. It should have revitalization of the mayor system. It must revitalize the gardens because calling it simply mobile gardens may not be relevant. I mean, a microclimate on a very large scale. Because Aurangabad has no lungs, it doesn't have kidneys, forget about adrenal glands. It's on a ventilator right now. It's a very, very poor presence of environment, vegetation. So that needs to be first reinstated. Like I told you, 22 gardens, even if you make them live, it's good enough. You know, invade all the schools, convert them into thick forests, open spaces. It would help. Or call Manikamba, or call Vidyadhar, or call Hemar Pant from somewhere and make an ambitious project. It may sound ambitious now to recreate a new Aurangabad by somewhere in the vicinity of Aurangabad. It may encircle the city. It may be a series of satellite towns like Paris has. Like Paris is same, but they have city industrial and so many city refuge and all that. Maybe adopt that. It will work. I hope you agree with me.
Yeah, sir, definitely. That is what is the need of the hour. Another thing which comes to my mind is there's a lot of work and research people are doing on Aurangabad. A lot of students who are interested in studying history and studying the archaeology and studying the cultures of Aurangabad. Would you like to focus any unlooked part of Aurangabad, like whatever we find on the net and whatever we have listened and heard about Aurangabad is what is getting focused. But do you find any peculiar point where which is not looked upon but is as important as what is going on?
See, Nalanda, Aravali, and Takshila, Amravati, Bodhgaya, Jagiapet. These are the names of the places where art of sculpture was formally taught in terms of iconography. Again, there is a need to teach iconography in the modern context, and we must have schools of art and architecture, more and more in number, in Aurangabad. Unless we do this and train people, this is not possible only. Just impossible. Because people don't know about this. Or else, if we see presentations like this, it could become a film by Govind Nilal. अरे वो तो फिक्शन है. We want films by Eisenstein, Woody Allen, to draw inferences from, and which I am extremely concerned and very disappointed with the way architecture is taught. Which model is this? Where is this adopted? This has to be completely demolished. There has to be a customized model to teach architecture in Indian context. See, India is not like US, not like these surface institutes. It's much, much deeper. It has to be very different.
True, very true.
Sir,
Yeah.
if I can quickly ask you to brief on one more thing. This current series that ISOLA is having, we started with Nashik, and now we are in Aurangabad. The main thing that binds both these cities is River Godavari, and then our next place that we would visit is Nagpur and Vidarbha region, from where Vainganga also joins Godavari somewhere down the line. So would you briefly talk about Godavari and its importance, or its meaning for Aurangabad?
Yeah. Actually, the common factor between Nasik, which was your earlier topic, and now
Yes.
Aurangabad is Godavari, you said. Actually, Godavari is not the common factor of Aurangabad and Nasik. The common factor of Nasik and Aurangabad is saffronans. And through Godavari, the end of Dakshinapatha was Python.
Okay.
And see, you can just imagine that map of India. Dakshinapatha is coming from north, going to south. And perpendicular to this, roughly, it is at an inclination of 23 degrees, Godavari. starts from Nasik and goes to Amravati. Nasik in the sense it goes to Gharapuri further. So there was a trade which was taking place from the eastern coast to western coast, was through Godavari. And like I told you, whether it is Nile, whether it is Bijapur, see for Bijapur, it was Bhima and Krishna. For Gulbarga, it was Krishna and Manjara. For Aurangabad, Nasik, it was Manjara and Godavari. So this is ellipsoids, all this. Eye-shaped basins in Deccan Plateau are cause of this civilization. So they all link. What you say is absolutely correct. Godavari is obviously as a major artery. Okay, it was connecting, it was flowing. But Satavahanas, before they contributed anything to Aurangabad, though their capital was in Patan, they first went to Nasik.
Okay.
Bajar, Karla, Pedsa, they thought Nasik, Mandavena, they thought that's a better location. Then later, early Chalukyas, then Satvana. See, there's very interesting feature. See, Mauryans, then Satvanas, then Amravati, then early Andhrites. Of course, Satvanas are called as early Andhrites. And Dharnya Kakata is a name of Amravati. And in Dharnya Kakata, which was, you will be surprised to know, the trade in Gharapuri, Elephanta Island. Just imagine, Elephanta Island is west coast and Amravati is east coast. The funding of Gharapuri, Elephanta, was done by people from Amravati, Satvanas, through Aurangabad and Nasik. This south entry of Sanchistupa is contributed by Satvanas at Aurangabad. See, this lineage is, that's what I'm trying to make my point through this presentation. It's extremely complex. Godavari, Bhima, Krishna, Kaveri, Manjara, Bhima, all these are, look at Ravi, Satluj, and those 5 rivers at the top. The way they join at the base of a tree, no wonder. Indus Valley had to be established. It's the matter from which end you look at it.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
And there are some images. See, about Egypt, there are pros and cons and proofs and no proofs, etc. But I have seen some images where Nile is touching Khufu pyramids. So that's the importance of Godavari for Nasik and Aurangabad.
Absolutely, sir. You have summed it up so well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for this wonderful session.
Presentation. Rising.
Yes, sir. Thank you a lot, sir. It was really a a new insight for Aurangabad. And I hope everybody who has listened to this would surely put Aurangabad in a very different corner of their hearts after this
They should.
presentation. And
They
I
should
hope
deserves it.
this, yeah, and hope it escalates to its new glory very soon. And I thank you from ISOLA. And
Thank you.
thanks, everybody, all the participants. Shruti, we close off now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to ask Vikas Bhusekar sir to make a formal note of thanks. And before asking Vikas sir to take over, I would insist Yogendra to please plan a visit to Aurangabad. Now we are more than eager to come there and actually experience what sir has just spoken about. So we were in
Yeah,
talks of
definitely.
having a visit for Isola. Now let's plan it, Yogendra.
Yeah, very
Vikas
soon
sir,
we'll do that.
Yes,
would
yes, yes. Sir, I'm Vikas Bosekar. Ajay Kulkarni, sir, it was wonderful and mesmerizing journey you have taken through the
Thank you,
Aurangabad
sir.
region. It's not only a region you have explained, and it has connected to the history and the present and the modern architecture. And you said that earth and architecture is earth and plants. It was wonderful. I just want to thank again to Yogendra Ballal sir also for moderating this event. At the same time, I thank you. I just want to thank Mr. Manoj from Stone Studio for facilitating the event, and the technical team, Mr. Srikanth, for support for the technical event. And also, I want to thank you, the participants, those who have listened to you very patiently. So it was wonderful, and
Thank you.
I'm thanking you from Maharashtra Chapter, ISOLA. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you so
See you
much.
Thank
sometimes
you.
in
Thank you.
Aurangabad.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.